Hello, Space Kids! Welcome in and welcome back. I'm so excited to read for you today. If you're new here, a special hello to you. My name is Zach, and I'm so glad you found your way out here. Today's reading will introduce you to your future. This is Pile 1, Pile 2, Pile 3, and Pile 4. As always, it's helpful to keep in mind that general readings provide confirmations and synchronicity. If you're feeling in need of some answers, I recommend booking a private session with a trusted tarot reader. If you'd like to book with me, I have all the information linked in the description box. If this is not your first rodeo, I will see you at your chosen pile. If you're new here, take a moment to select a pile that you feel is drawing you in. To assist you with your intuition, there is a close-up and meditation to follow. And once you've made your decision, you'll just scroll down to the timestamp that corresponds with your pile, and I will meet you at your reading. Hello, Pile 1, and welcome to your reading for everyone who chose the Rose. Rose to me talks about, the highest frequency that we can oscillate at, be at, and that is the frequency of love. And I suppose joy. Joy could be a little bit higher, but I think joy is just yet another reflection of pure love. So for some of us, it might be an invitation to, go out and stop and smell the roses. Okay, we got a harvest rose here in the death card, but lots of roses blooming with the magician. And you can't escape, the idea of love and beauty, which I feel like the rose personifies. Now, for some of you, this could also be an invitation to raise your frequency, to raise your vibration. So some energies and some thought patterns and ideas, they're a little bit higher in frequencies. So grief and anger and mistrust, those are all relatively low vibration. But love, acceptance even, understanding, joy again, those are higher frequencies. So for some of you, that could just be a little message for you. So before we go into the tarot, I'm actually going to start, I drew an oracle card for you guys. And for group 1, I drew the crow in reverse. So the crow talks about law, and not necessarily human law, but universal law. So laws of like the universe outside of like a human's, mindset. So if you think of like a human and how tiny we are in the universe, our laws, the way we impose, restrictions and limitations and guidelines even, they don't really, reach beyond planet Earth. And so the crow is just a reminder of, there is a world outside ourselves. And I think that the big message of crow is kind of like the mind. So it's all about a perspective. The crow for me talks about the past being your teacher, the present being your creation, yours, only yours, no one else. No one takes your power away from you. That's given. Okay? Future is, your inspiration. And you can only live in the present. So if people are dwelling on the past, that's about anxiety. If people are dwelling and worrying about the future, that's another reflection of anxiety as well. Depression can also be people who dwell on the past, but you can't change the past. You can only create in the present moment. Now, I'm not trying to underline or water down any of your feelings or any of the experiences you've gone through, but a big message that I'm going to continue to share, regardless of how glittery it sounds, is that you do not have your power ever taken from you. You give your power away, okay? Because every human being is an individual experience of the greaterness of consciousness, okay? So we're all, in that sense, little living gods, right? Because we're creators. We create every experience that we have, and that usually starts with our mind. So the crow, to me, really talks about, in reverse, refusing to acknowledge, certain things in your reality that are causing emotional pain. We're looking at that shadow here. You can see the crow looking in a puddle at its shadow, and the story is that the crow gave so much attention to its shadow and its fears, pecking it, nudging it, that it came to life and it killed the crow, right? So this talks a lot about, acknowledging what is your block so you can bring it into the light and dissolve it. So it seems like there's some element of, now don't be alarmed, of lying to yourself going on right here, cheating the system somehow. For some of you, this could be cheating on a diet, but that's just a very small example. Now, again, you are creators all the time, in the present moment. And so any existence, any circumstance that you currently reside in is always your creation. And the crow, in order to right it, to turn it upright, that shift in perspective, the mindset is what's going to, bring forward a new reality. So as long as we can acknowledge what this little evasion that we're doing to ourselves, as long as we can acknowledge that, we can turn the crow card over, which then talks about being, kind of a manifester. Being in the present and acknowledging that everything you call down is your creation, which is pretty cool. So just some animal medicine to take in advice for my pile ones who chose love. So I do see, some cup energy here. And especially underneath the deck, we have the Page of Cups. So, I'm going to just go ahead and, turn this into a love lens for a little bit. So let's see, what comes out in love? What's coming forward, energetically, where are we? You guys, okay. Honeymoon, ooh. Enjoy the bliss of holiday time together. Now, this can be a literal honeymoon or just a period of bliss in your life right now in relationships. We do have that Six of Cups card, which talks about harmony. Okay, so wow, this is in two different directions, it seems like. So there's this Free Yourself card, which is my absolute favorite card in this deck. It's a really resplendent image. We have a unicorn in this tiny little corral fence. With the smallest little bit of chain, tying it to the tiniest of trees, so it's really evocative of the Eight of Swords cup. So that's a woman who's bound by binds, but they're very loose, so she can free herself. And this card, it really, it talks about what's going on here with this crow card to me, which is to free yourself, to acknowledge self-limiting beliefs or patterns that we, have trapped ourselves into with the mind. And it's time to take back control, okay? So this is I feel like this is very strong. Some of you are getting a little bit prickled by this idea of no one can take away your power, it's given. But I really want you to experiment, with a different perspective on that thought if it's really bothering you. For some of you, this is really freeing, and you needed to hear that it's time to take back control of your life, because every single one of us drives the car, okay? We are all mini gods. Now, for some of you, this message of love that I did sort of sense is, I'm getting the Page of Cups really talks about a new romance coming in, but I'm getting a new honeymoon period. I think that my pile ones are currently in relationships, or at least the ones that I'm currently speaking to. Again, this is a general reading. It's impossible to be utterly specific to each and one of you. So take what resonates and leave the rest. So I'm getting this, this second wind in a relationship. We've got passion. Allow your heart and soul to sing with joy. Okay, joy, that high, high vibration that we were talking about. And then with this honeymoon card, I get the sense that if you're in a relationship, you're getting a second honeymoon period. If you're not in a relationship, I'm picking up on a one night stand. So that's that. So moving into the tarot, let's sort of see what's coming in the future. Now the little bits of glass, what do those mean? That just, is a visual cue to remind me that the original orientation of these cards was reversed. So I've also, the bottom three is future. This first card tells me where you're at, the advice that you should take, and then the likely future if you take that advice, okay? So in reverse, the Magician tells me that you're learning about your powers of being a manifester, which is, very on point here. So in the present moment, your creation. You guys are learning about having an idea and being able to pull that abstract concept and plant it in the ground into reality. So for me, that talks about manifestation. And you have all of the tools at your disposal. You have the Pentacles, so a wealth of health and wealth. You have the Cups, a wealth of feelings and dreams. The Swords, a wealth of thoughts and intellectual prowess. And you also have the Wands, which is inspiration and motivation and just pure energy. So with this Magician card being in reverse, it talks about learning each and every one of those. Now I also, just looking a little bit forward, since we have a natural progression with the major arcana cards, 1 to 4 to 13, it tells me that my pile ones are currently on a new path. And indeed, the Emperor is the trailblazer, okay? The god of spring. He's got Aries, the rams, on his throne, which really talk about going forward and bringing new life into the desert. So the desert could be where there wasn't life previous, okay? Back to the Magician. We've got this great yellow card, this yellow energy. Yellow talks about, knowledge and communication and intelligence. And it seems like since we're at the beginning of our journey, my pile ones are learning in some aspect. Again, this is a general reading, so try to fit that lens in wherever that fits for you. And I see a great progression of 1 to 4, this yellow energy, into orange. So orange is literally energy. Yellow, optimism, intelligence, communication. Orange is just that vital sacral chakra energy, okay? So the advice I'm getting from this card, very specifically for some of you, you might cleanse and balance your sacral chakra. Okay, we've got that great orange energy. You might want to work with orange stones, like orange calcite just came to mind. And you might also want to work with candle magic with your manifestations. Orange is just a great candle to add into any sort of combination you're working with because it just enhances, the manifestation. For example, if you like to work with hoodoo magic, you know that frankincense is a great, enhancer. And in the same sense, orange and candle magic does it's an enhancer. It just gives a huge boost of energy. So we're trailblazing. We're going in a new direction. In reverse, the Emperor very specifically talks about your dad. So for some of you, this could be the key to going forward, and crowning yourself with this Ace of Swords, which is a great card to come as a result of taking this energy. It really talks about life purpose and just this grand new idea. Indeed, it's a gift from the divine. So for some of you, it really seems like your dad is the key to unlocking this. Okay, some fatherly figure is going to be coming into your life. And for others, it's to embody this Emperor, okay? To go forward, okay? To, think it over. Figure out what it is you want to bring into being. For example, you could want a new studio. A little separate room away from your house to be able to work on anything, a creative work. I'm getting, a little writer's retreat vibe going on. 4 is a number of stability. 1, again, a new beginning. So I'm really seeing, going forward in a new direction, leaving behind this sense of security and stability. Yes, absolutely, because we have this element of the mind with the swords, and then control over the mind coming through here with free yourself, but also the crow. Okay, so I see us, leaving stability and that not feeling super comfortable, But as a result, guess what? Taking this advice, this, energy element, everything I talked about so far with the Emperor, heeding this advice brings forward this Ace of Swords, okay? So especially this card as well as the Ace of Staves. It's, this is literally specifically the life purpose card, okay? So we have the laurel or the palm right here with some, it looks like holly or holly berries, right? And so when this fruitful aspect of the mind literally penetrates that crown, you can see it drops forward, little bits of gold. So for me, that talks about your ideas are your seed corn. So no one can take them from you, and you should, plant them. Plant these little ideas, take them from the thought realm and plant them in the ground with manifestation, with focus and intention and a lot of energy. It's a go forward card. Now, I will say in reverse, the imagery is pulling the sword from the stone. And if you guys know that fabled tale, if you use overly too much energy and too much zeal and over exaggeration, you're not going to be able to pull that sword out, right? It's not going to lift from the stone. It takes a gentle touch. Now, I can also talk about this because I was obsessed with figuring out my life purpose over the last, honestly, since 2016, right? So like 5 years. And I just kept, going forward like a little pig-headed-ish. And I didn't care about anything. I knew that I had a wealth of talents. I absolutely knew that. And I had a lot of energy and zeal, but absolutely no direction. I had no idea. And I think that this could be an indication, to heed this sort of advice going on right here. It will produce this life purpose, but you can't force it. It seems like if we go forward we'll be blinded. So if we go forward with one specific intention in mind, we might block other gifts coming through, other perspectives, other opportunities. So it seems to be just a little cautionary bit of advice to keep an open mind. Yeah, open mind it's all over this, okay? Your mind and your ability to identify your emotions is so crucial. It really frees you up. And I think that this Ace of Swords, this gift that seems to be coming through as a result, many ideas, 6 of them, harmony. We have so 3 elements of 6. With the rose, it talks about love, okay? Love as well as harmony. And we're just going to move forward into this future element. So this 6 of Cups, for me, this is talking to those who this is, you guys are in a relationship with your sweetie, okay? This talks about nostalgia, okay? Some of you could be meeting, your one-night stand for some of you with a lot of passion is going to be someone from your past. You already know them for sure. For others, this is just a really nostalgic time. Maybe you're celebrating your anniversary coming up. There we go. That's for some of you. And it's just, a really optimistic card. You got this little guy right here selling flowers, these little white lilies. Lilies, again, they represent your thoughts. Okay, roses are love. Lilies right here, again, thoughts. And the mind, intellect, but also action. And it seems like you've got 6 of them blooming right here. Precisely all 6 of them, that came right here. Oops. All of those ideas. And it seems like you're offering one, okay? One of these is particularly fruitful, and it might have an element of partnership involved. This could be a creative project with a partner, an invitation, I see coming in your future, a collaboration of sorts. Especially with this death card, okay? So death is absolutely one of the more beautiful cards in the deck. There's nothing to worry about here. 10 talks about the end of a cycle. 3, because we're breaking down 13, 3 talks about creation, okay? We indeed have the harvest rose. We have death riding in on his great white horse to bring in the crops. So this is extremely on point. I just got some chills, so thank you, Spirit Team. This is really beautiful so far. So quite literally, it looks like in the near future, you guys are bringing some sort of creative work into being. This could also be a relationship. Anything that you're manifesting, a mindset, Okay, we have all four of the elements here going on this table. So this could be a passion, this could be manifesting life purpose, spirituality, it could be manifesting, a decision, resolve of a conflict is what I'm getting as well. Now, again, just try to bend this lens to apply to you as I'm reading the general energy right now. But we should never evade the death card, and it's great because it's upright, which tells me that you're conscious of this project that you've done, this corn that you've sown, this idea, this direction that you're going in, and it seems like a very natural projection. What am I trying to say? What's the word? Wow. Projection. Projection is the word that came out. So what could that mean? Projecting of an idea is what I'm getting. Projection. Oh, literally could be film. You guys could be working in film. Procession. Gosh, what is that word? A natural... I'm going with procession, okay? A natural procession moving forward. And the death, it's the dawn of a new age. We can see the gates of heaven open relatively wide here. So for some of you, this is quite literally about spirituality. Okay, we've got the crown multiple times. We've got yellow, this image of enlightenment here. We've got the Pope right there as well, or the Hierophant. And I see us moving forward out of this energy. Okay, some of us are blocked by our dad. That's a very specific message. Or an authoritarian figure in our life. We're blocked by them right now. And so the invitation is to, identify your uniqueness, okay, your core being and what's going to light you up. And remember, it's a tempered sort of effort that we're putting in. We don't want to force it. It'll come naturally to us when we can sit, and free the mind. Yes. Okay, absolutely about that. Moving forward into a period of, harmony. The Six of Swords is about moving from these, troubled waters into quite literally this placid water right here, into a period of, reflection for some of you to identify what comes next. Also, just the period of just a sigh. I'm getting this sense of like a... Okay. I think some of you need to do that as well. Some of you need to take a big, deep breath because you've got so much interesting energy going on. Okay, you're definitely bringing something into existence. You're learning about yourself. You're making a decision, resolving a conflict, and I think this has to do with the mind. Okay, for some of you, it is about relationships. Okay, now let's get a little more information. I'm going to throw on this pile. I just made this little deck over the weekend. Excited to use it. Okay. All right, so what's coming? What's coming next? What is the energy my pile 1 is dealing with? Let's talk about their future. Okay, frontier, literally, okay? Literally frontier, that is what the Emperor says to me, okay? It's about going forward. This is a huge confirmation for some of you to take this leap of faith, and to just to begin, okay? This stone right here, if you've been following along on my channel for a little bit, I found him the weekend before I started this YouTube channel, and I just looked down on the ground at a bunch of, really boring, normal looking stones, little pieces of asphalt and just dirt and things like that, and I saw this green stone that has all these interesting pock marks in it. It's quite interesting. And when I looked down, one word just popped in my head, and I wasn't even thinking about this. It said begin. It just said begin. And so I picked it up and I've kept it with me. Kept it right on my windowsill up here as well. So frontier, it really is about going into the desert to bring new life. And I can sort of see that imagery repeated here about life purpose, frontier, the road less taken, less traveled on. Frontier is a new beginning, okay? This is absolutely about a fool's journey. My pile 1 are starting something new. Let's see if I can get a little more information. I do sense this, a little bit of a heavier energy for some of you. I think I do always worry about prickling you deep, okay? With, this idea that you cannot give away your power is not taken, you give it away. So I also sense you this incredible energy, if we do this deep shadow work for some of you, if you identify with that, A deep dive, really, is what the crow is saying in reverse. I just keep getting called back. I want to uplift you guys and empower you. So that's, the real big message on my channel is about unlocking your potential, unlocking self-awareness, and thus unlocking self-confidence, okay, to move forward. And this is really about plumbing the depths of your mind, okay? Yes, okay, deep. That's what that meant. Okay, so this big pull right here. Oh, wow. We have the imagery with the gondola repeated, okay? And an angel character. It seems like you guys are going to be assisted, through this hard time. Some of you absolutely are dealing with something and are in need of a little bit of love. That's undeniable, okay? Now, this is a strong invitation, to take this deep dive, to really plumb your depths in order to move forward. So this ship right here, it can't move out of this troubled past or this current mindset until this pole is really plunged down and pushed off the bottom. That's how it gains its momentum to go forward. And it seems like we're being called upon to do a deep dive to see where we're lying to ourselves, some element of that. Now let's go ahead and draw a few more cards. I want to go with this deck. All right, so talk to me about the future. Talk to me about the future of pile 1. What's coming next? Secret. Okay. Yours. Okay. Your destiny. Okay, is what I heard with yours. Secret admirer. Okay. I think that for some of you, this is about the love I see coming through with the Page of Cups, but I also see you being prosperous. Okay. Your secret, your ideas, your thoughts are your superpower, pile 1, okay? You can bring down anything. You quite literally have the magician, and right now, energetically, because this reading is, in a sense, an energetic pulse of where you are right now, you are the magician. This is where your energy is sitting, okay? You're learning about that, and I think you're learning about that right now for some of you is what I just heard. Okay, so your secret, some of you are sitting on a secret, right? And I think that it's going to take a little bit of a deep dive to identify what that is. And I think that it's going to be, something that you plant. This could inspire you to make action towards a creative work, again, a relationship, any of those kind of ideas. But this is, I did want to take those guys. Those guys popped up right. So work and a dose of sunshine. So I just heard that some of you might want to check out the pile with the sunflower, even though I have not read that yet. This really feels like a dose of sunshine to me, right? And I also just see that as just a sunny period in your life, especially with this energy that you're supposed to take advantage of, which is quite literally energy, and also being in this really optimistic period right here with the magician, okay? So lots of great enlightenment, communication, energy. This could be an invitation as well to go take a trip, take a trip into the Blue Mountains for some of you. Yeah, travel is kind of in this aspect as well as the Emperor, okay? And then work is the final card, and I'm getting this as self-work, a deep dive, introspection moment. Now let's finish this up with one message from the void. Let's see if anything pops out for my pile 1s. What's coming in the future of pile 1? Remember, you already created the path. Our job is not to resist. Okay, I love you, pile 1. I know that some of you are really going through something right now, and I get that sense. And it's one thing for me to speak practically at you, but I'm just trying to give you the best advice, from my mindset and my perspective, and that's really not to sugarcoat it, because that's not going to help you. Sugarcoating it just gives you more of the shadow element. You deny yourself, the free mind. You deny yourself that fact that you are God. There's some element of lying to ourselves, and lying to ourselves can also just not believing that we're as good as we really are. Okay? I think that my pile 1s have a power in them because you literally are magic right now. You're really magic right now. You're really attractive and magnetic, and you can pull whatever you want down right now. You have the energy of Free Yourself, my absolute favorite card in this deck, okay? A really inspirational unicorn is who you are, quite literally. Okay, you're very powerful right now, and you have also the power to do this deep dive, to do that work, the inner work, okay? In order to do this work of bringing this idea into reality, this relationship, this thought, going to college for some of you, having a baby for some of you, those kind of bringing newness in. And then just, I think a way to free your mind, this little bit of advice is saying, in my opinion, and not everyone shares this opinion, we have multiple incarnations, literally zillions of them, okay? So our job per life is to, for some of us, awaken spiritually and to acknowledge that and understand that. Why? Because that frees us. Remember, a free mind means that you can identify any emotion that's bothering you, because the swords are all about, lightening the burden of the mind, okay? Conflicts, arguments, anything that's going on the mind, you're able to identify it and cut it away. One way to do that is a perspective. So a great perspective is to know that you created everything, okay? The present is your creation. The future is your inspiration. So what would you like to bring forward? What new would you like to do? Because you can absolutely do that. The future, it's written in the stars right here, right in the cards. And our job is not to resist it. Resistance causes, this emotional pain. And resistance is refusing to acknowledge and honor shifts that want to come through. Because you already made the path, and you just have to continue down it. Trust that inner voice, that intuition, because that's going to guide you, okay? Page of Cups. I think that, we got some great water elements going on. So really trust your intuition. You have a really prosperous future coming forward, Pile 1. I can see that, absolutely. But it's time to do that deep dive. And for some of us, you have already done this, and this reading has been a confirmation of love for some, but also that your vibration is rising as a result, and you are magic. You are a dose of sunshine to many people, okay? Your secret power is this magneticism. And, this is what I'm getting so far for my Pile 1s. And I hope this message resonated for you guys. If you want to, I would love to hear about it in the comment section, or you can leave a big thumbs up. It really goes a long way to support the channel, but it also helps this video be seen by other people so that they can receive these messages. And if you want to see more messages like this in the future, you can press subscribe. And until then, I want you guys to stay divine. Hi Pile 2, everyone who chose the purple blue salvia over here. To me, salvia really talks about, the hallucinogenic aspect of it. And why do people do hallucinogenics? For a spiritual awakening or the experience of fun or something just totally different and unknown. So this blue, purpley, indigo, deep ultramarine color is like my favorite color right now. And it really just talks about, the psychic ability. And for some of you, I'm hearing that Matthew Nathanson and Lana Del Rey, I know she's in it. Pushing past the limits, tripping on hallucinogenics. And then he comes in to say, the cigarette burnt my finger because I forgot I lit it. Okay, so what does that mean? For some of you, this is like, that confirmation to try shrooms this summer, and that's in your future, okay? That's pretty cool. Because maybe even with this Eight of Cups, leaving behind something on a spiritual journey is what I'm getting. So for some of you, that's a message. For others, the cigarette burnt my finger because I forgot I lit it. It seems like, having a lot of luxury, having a lot of wealth, but not necessarily being aware of it, is what I'm hearing. Like, having a lot of manifestations that you're waiting on returns for, or just ideas and projects, and just, maybe just looking outside of yourself for a satisfaction when you have everything at your disposal and at your hands. It just seems like a really happy, hey, just know that everything right now is great. So that's what I'm getting from this little draw right there, and some of those messages are for some of you. Now I also went ahead and I drew an oracle card for you guys, and from my animal medicine deck, you guys got 6, the snake. 6 is a number of love and harmony. And I think it also is about transformation and transmutation. Okay, so being able to take like a negative thought to digest it and let that negative thought be transmuted into a different type of energy. Some of you I'm hearing very specifically, oh my god, I need to turn off the water heater. I'm so sorry if that was on already. Okay, sorry about that, guys. So 6, the snake, transmutation. For some of you, I heard very strongly that you're highly empathic, extra sensitive at the very least, like myself. You have psychic tendencies. And one thing we really need to do, because we're so sensitive to our environment and people that we interact with, we get clogged up by all that energy. And one thing that you could do is ask your guides to transmute that energy, that debris that you've collected from the collective. Yes, so some of you, this is really going to resonate with, but you're being told to call upon your guides to take away the burden the collective has placed on you, other people's ideas, and just literally energy, because they can take that from you and cleanse you. You just have to ask them and give them permission, because they'll never infringe on free will. Okay, so for others who are like, what the heck is that about? For others, this is about realizing, the harmony aspect, that you have masculine and feminine energy inside you, regardless of whether you identify male, female, or neither. Okay, so every aspect in the world, there are two sides to every coin. Okay, in this dimension we have duality. We have North and South Pole, hot and cold, love and fear. Every aspect has two sides, and so does your soul. And it has the masculine energy of go and power, and the feminine energy of flow and feeling. And this is, for some of you, about recognizing that. And when you do develop that awareness, okay, it's about, reaching a certain pinnacle point on your spiritual journey, being able to transmute the different poles into one, and to realize, your superpower of the present. And it's about, accepting all aspects in life as equal, valuing, the flat tire as just as much experience as the movie that you watched, or the A you got on that paper. The song that you love listening over and over and on repeat on the radio is worth just as much as your shoelace that broke, your high heel that broke, No experience is worth more than another, because it is just that. It's only experience. And that complete understanding and acceptance of that, it's the freedom of mind. You get to transmute, rise above is what I'm hearing, from mundane aspects of being to really fruitful mind. The snake also talks about infinity, okay, which is just a reminder that this is simply the first. We also have an angel. This is just simply the present incarnation that you're in, okay? You've done this many times before, most of you, and your soul is infinite, okay? But also infinite manifester, infinite creator is what I'm hearing too. So for the snake to come up, it seems like there's some thought or action, for sure, or desire that needs to be transmuted in some aspect in order to reach a state of wholesomeness, right? And that's going to be different for each of you. Try to adopt a lens for this reading, because again, this is a general reading. Try to see which aspect of your life that this energy is coming into or addressing. So let's step, right, speaking of infinity, ooh, you have 2 8s, okay? So the snake really is talking about affinity. Hermes' staff, it talks about 2 snakes intertwining on the sword, and that really talks about knowledge and learning, okay? But it also is another reminder of infinity, okay? And I think that something we forget is that when we incarnate here, we suffer from amnesia, because we are animal, but we also have divine, okay? And we have both of those parts in us. Ooh, so yeah, that's another act of tempering, your animal side, your wild side, and your loving, angelic side. So with the eight of cups, okay, so we're leaving something behind. The moon is looking really smug right now, and we have, two elements of just back turned towards the card. And I'm hearing some of you feel like you're backed up against a wall. Okay? And so just real quick, the pieces of glass are just visual cues to remind me that the original orientation was reversed. The bottom three is future, future. This card right here is talking about where I see you now. This is the advice, and this is the future should you take this advice. So what I'm getting is that you guys are leaving something behind, that you're on a spiritual journey. You're leaving friends behind, beliefs behind, dreams behind, and you're just going somewhere, Some of you are, there was that early message on the cigarette, you forgot he lit it. So he has so much abundance that he forgot that he lit that cigarette, so he wasn't living in the present moment. Some of you are walking right by something. You're striding right by and you can't see it right here. 8 is about reflection and mastery to me. So it seems like there is an element of mastering the self is what I'm going for. So the wands talk about life purpose and spirituality, okay, but also new ideas and something in the first stages of development. And what I'm getting is that there is some sort of creative project. Now, again, I can't read into every single one of your energies. So creative project can mean relationship. It can mean dream. It can mean a literal art project, a song you wrote, a book you're writing, a painting you're starting, a movie you're making, a YouTube channel. Any of those talk about a creative project. It seems like with this 10, we're sensing, the end of a cycle. This card to me talks about the straw that broke the camel's back, okay? Can't see the forest for the trees. And it looks like we're wanting to leave something, and maybe the advice is, it wouldn't make sense, but it seemingly says to just keep striding by, okay? So that doesn't really make sense, in order to let you turn into this Knight of Swords. It's like, I'm just getting drop it, okay? You've come really far with this project, with this relationship, with this idea, and it's like time for a break almost. I just get this sense of just drop all of that, okay? You've got your head down, burdening. Now, again, this is a general reading. For some of you, you're almost there, okay? He's nearly at the top. He just can't see it because he's carrying so much. And you guys, absolutely, you have the ability to carry all of these ideas and inspirations and energy, passion, motivation. You're able to do it, okay? You're not tripping. He's not falling over. It's quite heavy, but you're managing. It just seems like there might be too much. It might be too much, and some of it has to go. The burden is just too heavy, okay? And now this could be too many hobbies that you've taken on, little side projects, said yes to too many friends, too many outings, and it's just kind of like an energy being overspent. Now, I did just pick up on this blue, this specific hue right here. It's one of the few cards that has a color that's only on this card, and it's this cornflower blue, which is one of my favorite colors. So that really talks about serenity and peace, and some of you might want to work with the moon as far as your manifestations. So we're approaching the full moon on the 26th. So some of you might want to use that power, to transmute some element in your life, to accept something, some aspect of complete understanding is coming in here. And heeding this vice, to lighten the load, to allow this cycle to finish, to leave it behind, to let it be done, is going to bring forward the Knight of Swords. So upright, this talks to me about the Knight of Swords coming into your life. A person who embodies this guy who is building, a new idea. He's taking a lot of action. He's able to resolve a lot of conflicts, right? But in reverse, it tells me that you are that Knight of Swords. So for some of you, again, this is a general reading. So there are two messages here. Keep going and then let go. So you're going to have to really figure out which pile you belong to, or which one of those ideas you belong to. Because the solution, the likely outcome, regardless, is you becoming this knight. You're building an idea. You're building upon an idea. You're building your words. Okay, this could be like building a book, word by word. Building some aspect of communication, making a program. That's a very specific message, but the sword and this specific energy is really about dashing forward, against the wind. So you can see that he is running this way with all of the wind energy, going against him. And regardless, he has this lust for life, There's so many butterflies adorning this horse that talks about a metamorphosis, but also, again, infinity, the infinite nature to your soul, the crystalline property of your soul. And it seems like we've been, reflecting for a while. This kind of feels like the hermit as well. And some of us could have been in a hermit mode and blindly trudging ahead. I just get this sense that we're not appreciating the present moment. And the only time space that you can create in is the present moment, right? So the past is really your teacher. The present, active, live, real, it's where your magic happens. It's where you create. The future is your inspiration. And the Ten of Wands talks about a lot of inspiration, right? So lots of energy and passion and motivation, to get, some of you are heading for your life purpose. And it seems like the invitation is to not carry the weight of the world on your back is coming through very strongly. I think, so a message that some of you really need to hear is that it's not your job to save the world. This is particularly relevant to me. My throat just closed, so this is important to you guys. Oh, for so long after my spiritual awakening, I was like, okay, great, I have a wealth of talents, but I don't know how in the world my talents are going to help humanity, and I don't know how I'm going to save everyone. You're not meant to. Okay? Your job is to incarnate on this planet, to wake up, and you already designed your life's path, before you even came here. Your job is, not to resist the flow, to go with the flow. So you this could just be an invitation to tune in right now and say, you know what? Am I waking up with this lust for life? Does this feel right to me? Or is there a little sting in my stomach surrounding this matter, And if that little, quiet voice is just saying, no, this is not it, it's not it, it's not it. It's time to go in a different direction, okay? And I see you, recognizing that the weight of the world, it cannot rest upon your shoulders. You are not Atlas, that figure who literally had to carry the weight of the world on his shoulders. And it's just a gentle reminder that you have to wake up and treat yourself. You have to put yourself on center stage. Our job is not to change people, okay? Our job is to develop a self-awareness because, I think that we're all individual expressions of consciousness, So consciousness can experience itself. There seems to be one divine creator and then a million, trillion, billion sparks or stars, because we're all stardust, that come afterwards. And our job is not to carry anyone else with us, not to carry the debt or burden of a relationship with us if it no longer serves us. The debt of, going in so long of a direction with college or a career path. And if it's not lighting you up, this is saying to drop the load, okay? And become this Knight of Swords. So build something else. Make a decision. Resolve that conflict, okay? The swords are really about lightening the burden of the mind. Okay, so before we get into the future aspect, I want to just throw a couple cards on this pile. I made this deck over the weekend. I'm so excited to use it. It feels so good in my hand. I love the colors too. It's literally red and blue. It makes this purple mauve-y sort of color. Now, what is coming forward for my pile twos? In anything. I'm not getting a romance read, but I will draw a couple of those cards here in a bit. I'm getting, leaving a period that was draining your energy, okay? Yeah, some of you really should just, even if you don't necessarily have a strong relationship with your guides or necessarily believe, You could go stand out in nature, put your feet on the dirt, and literally open yourself to be an energetic channel and ask the ground to suck any negative energy from you and transmute it. I'm not going to ignore that message regardless of whether or not a less spiritual crowd comes here, because that's helpful to anyone. Okay, so what's coming for pile 2s? Time. Okay. I heard the time is now, but for some of you, it is rest. Stop and smell the roses. Yes. So I picked up early on that some of you guys are striding on right by. Some of you are doing quite well, actually. And this is an invitation, to stop trudging forward, because all of life is meant to be explored and appreciated and experienced, even mundane tasks like washing the dishes. It's a really good way. That specific example was really helpful for me to realize, a present state of mind. Sorry, that message is coming through. Some of us need to really develop a present state of mind to live in the present and to take off your watch, is what I just heard. Okay? This idea of time being linear is not true. It all happens at the same time, and your future doesn't exist because you're here to create that. And stop and smell the roses. So know that some things take time and a lot of effort. And this is a call to, find the pleasure in the mundane. So I cut myself off a few seconds ago, but one thing that was really helpful for me is when I was trying to be more present and figure out what that meant and felt like. I was like, okay, find the pleasure in the mundane. So I made myself wash those dishes, and recognize every soap bubble. The light coming in the window, the sound that the water made, the plate that I was currently washing, the cup that I was washing, if there was any suds, anything. Nothing else matters but that moment, Stop and smell the roses. The time is now for some of you. I want to draw one more. Air. Okay. Air. To me, this is talking about this element here. Okay, so the mind. Air is the element of the mind. It's not going to look perfect. That's fine. Air. Take a deep breath. That's what I just felt. Some of you need some fresh air, and I think that, some of you are just really in for a little bit of a break. I think we've been trudging ahead, maybe against some signs, ignoring some synchronicity that's coming in our life, and we're trying to force something to happen that might not be, what you designed originally before you incarnated here, okay? And you don't have to believe in that element of incarnation to gain some insight from this reading. The Knight of Pentacles was underneath the deck. So that really talks about slow and steady wins the race. In reverse, it talks about you being that pentacle, you being that Knight of Pentacles is what I meant to say, but also a little bit of impatience, okay? Yes, some of us are bringing in something big or have really big dreams and desires, and you're being told right now that it's kind of important to recognize that some dreams encompass an entire lifetime, and it's best to set those as the goals and to appreciate life along the way. So another good way to develop presence of mind is to let go of attachment to the outcome. So if you're painting, for example, you spend 40 days on a painting and you get 40 minutes at your art opening. So what is more valuable, if you really value time? 40 minutes of an art opening and a couple people talking about your work, or all the time and hours and days that you spent working on that creative project, working on that relationship, all the days in between. You can't just, pile on through. Yeah, so at the beginning of this reading, I kept getting delayed because there was a train, and then I had to stop us because the water heater turned on, and that I feel like that was the general energy is what I'm getting. We're trying to push forward, and we're getting a little bit of resistance. And I'm just getting the sense that some of us are trying to take on the weight of the world, and others of us are just pushing upstream. And energetically, it's time to sit a beat, to stop and smell the roses, to get some fresh air, take off that watch, stop being so committed to time. Ooh, yeah, some of you should just literally, not look at your phone for a day, at least the time on your phone or the clock, if you have the ability to. And that's what I'm getting so far from this cute little pile. Now, back into the tarot, okay, so the future aspect. It looks like the resolve of this conflict, okay? A healthy conflict, competition as well. It seems like we're learning about change. 5 is change. We're learning about, to get into a state of flow. Yeah, so heeding this advice, we're moving forward into a state of temperance. This is an amazing card, one of my very favorites to get. And it shows me that you guys are pretty far along in some sort of fool's journey. The fool's journey is, a new path. And I see us, again, we got the 10 here. And the fool starts at 0, and now we have this 14. It goes to 20. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the fool's journey in tarot. And so 14, that's pretty close, you've experienced quite a bit. And right here, this, healthy conflict I'm seeing, resolution of it as a result of taking this advice, developing a new perspective on time and the necessity for a present state of mind so you can clear through any mental struggles. I see us, dealing with that really well. So this card, it kind of talks about an argument, but in reverse, it talks about a resolve of an argument to me, or just a really healthy level of competition. So I think that people who we, look at as competition, some people in the same field, you guys could be singers, looking at other singers who are doing much better than you. They're there to stimulate you, to push you and to inspire you to do better. But it's important not to compare ourselves to them. Temperance to me talks about, and I know I mentioned this earlier, identifying dreams and longings and desires that are going to encompass an entire lifetime. And it talks about developing sort of this idea of awareness, okay? So we've got the sun symbol on the crown of an actual angel, okay? So it's talking about, using your intuition, your third eye, to temper thought and feeling, and to bring those into a fertile conjunction. So her toes are on land, but also in the water. So an invitation not to take the plunge, not to go whole hog, just get your feet wet, is what I'm hearing with this temperance card. Now, this can also talk about bringing 2 ideas that you have, 2 different friend groups, 2 different types of family members, 2 different jobs, and using both, finding a conjunction between the 2 of them, an unseeming, state of flow. It's also an invitation to tap into your intuition and, again, sense if you're going in the right direction or not. You will know, pile 2. You'll know if you're getting up and you have that, additional little jolt, that little poke, that thorn in your side when you're going after this friend, project, work thing. You'll know deep down if that's for you. And if it's not, it's time to leave it behind. I see us leaving it behind. So finally, this another 8, this reflection and mastery card. So for this card, you'll notice this woman who is tied up, or man, there's no gender in tarot, anything in between, tied up by binds, right? But they're loose. And she's surrounded by swords. So it seems like she could free herself. And I think that that's the result, of realizing that there's no rush. What's the rush, pile 2, is what I'm hearing. What's the rush? All of life, every aspect of life, especially the mundane, the days that you sit in traffic, it's all about seizing the present moment and making the most of it, and also making the most of what you have. But this card specifically talks about freeing your mind, okay? And she has the ability to do that. Again, the swords are all about making the burden lighter, identifying what it is that's, burdening your mind and cutting it away, bringing it into the light so that it can dissolve. So I see that element of just feeling like that you can breathe again. Okay? I'm reading this as you have the ability to free your mind from identifying bigger goals. I think that some of us are trying to bring in something potentially too big in 1 year. And I want you guys to think about what you can bring in 5 years. Don't try to manifest 100,000 followers overnight. Recognize that that's going to take quite a bit of time and that that's a good goal to go after. Something that takes 5 or 10 years, yes. So my pile 2 should really identify some bigger goals moving forward. I see that. An aspect of just reaching for more and recognizing what can happen and what amount of time and what is going to require a bit more patience and slow and steady work. So moving on, I did say that I would read a couple romance cards for you guys. So this reading is just all about, general energy update, what's coming next in your future. So what's coming next in pile 2's future? Okay. Flirt. Release your ex. Some of you are leaving a bad relationship. Pay attention to red flags. Wow. Okay. So I'm getting the sense... Okay. I'm only going to go in one direction. Again, this is a general reading. If you'd like to book a specific love reading, I have all the information down below. But I'm getting the sense that you guys are this flirt card, right? I feel like my pile 2s... I relate to you so much. You take on the weight of the world and think you have to solve all your friends' problems, your family problems, your own life purpose, and the world, and it's just bogging you down. And you guys are so cool. You are the energy of this flirt card, and I want you to go out there and flirt. Some of you need to release this ex, okay? And, time. So this time is calling me right here. The time has come to clear your energy. Oh my God, I said that in the very beginning with the snake. So the snake is all about transmutation, going out and stepping onto the ground and asking and calling upon Mother Nature, your guides, whatever you believe in, to clear your energy. Yes, some of you are just carrying this burden with you for such a long time. And the signs are cautioning you. Take this as your sign, pile 2, right? It's time to leave this relationship, and that can be a relationship with work, with a lover, or with a family, or with a creative project. Any of that aspect, a relationship with your mind, so a self-limiting belief. And to step into this flirt energy coming soon, right? So that you can appreciate the roses, having grass in your yard, for example. And because, hey, I'm in lovely Southern California, but I have no grass, right? So appreciate your lawn for me is what I'm saying. I don't know why that message came out. I'm just getting this real strong, this was an amazing reading, okay? It's time to develop an awareness of your infinite nature, that you have both masculine and energies in you at all times. That you are neither one nor the other, but both and more. Okay, that you are the star, but the entire cosmos too. And everyone is, as well. So you don't need to take on their problems because they have their own problems to deal with, and you have your own problems, is what I'm saying. Not necessarily problems, but inspirations, aspirations, dreams, and goals. And it's time to put yourself on center stage, pile 2. Step into this flirt energy. I think you know exactly what I'm talking about. Pay attention to the red flags. So this is what I'm getting so far. I do want to draw one more message. Let's go ahead and draw a message from the void. Anything for pile 2? 2. Okay. I'll take 2. You. You don't know how influential you truly are. I love my pile twos. I just got full body shivers. You needed to hear that. You don't know how influential you truly are. Even if you don't see the people responding in a way that you wish you would, your voice counts. Everything that you've done so far is intertwined with a million other people, a billion other people, and you work in this symphony, together. Experiences are always, intertwined with people you might not even know. Okay, you guys have a lot to give, but I want you to give it to yourself. Okay, even my voice is changing. What is this one? You receive abundance from the present. Oh my God. Okay, literally, again, full body shivers. Oh my God, chill shivers. So you guys, you receive abundance from the present only. Remember, the past is your teacher, the future is your inspiration. And if you have one foot in the past and one in the future, you're pissing in the present. So pissing on your abundance, that's not what you want to be. So you want to live in the moment. And there are ways to identify that. For me, it's just like, I'll notice that my fist is clenched and I'll just release it. This is something that I've had to develop over years. It's been like 3 years, but slowly, fewer and fewer and fewer times do I find myself with a fist clenched. Another way that I recognize when I'm not in the present is me holding my breath. And in those times, it's really important to just breathe out, stick your tongue out, and expel all that gross air that you've been, recirculating at the very topmost limit of your lungs, and to take a deep breath into your stomach. So just receive abundance only from the present. We're really thinking about the future, and I think we're trying to bring in something that's too big in 1 year, in 1 month, in a week, okay? I think our advice in our future is about identifying something that's going to take a bit longer, but also have a much bigger return. Okay, it's time to sow those seeds, is what I'm hearing. And you don't know how influential you truly are. Oh, that's so great. Okay, pile two, this is what I'm getting so far. I hope that you liked it. I hope that it resonated. If it did, I would really like to hear about it in the comment section below, or you could give me a big thumbs up. If you want to see more messages like this in the future, you can always press subscribe. And until then, stay divine. Hi, pile three, and welcome to your reading for everyone who chose this dose of sunshine over here, the sunflowers. To me, this makes me think of the birth. I almost called it the birthday card, which is the sun, which is kind of a celebration of getting through some ups and downs in life regarding a particular journey. So maybe that sounds like some of you guys. It also could be just an invitation, to get a dose of sunshine, step outside out of the office. Ooh, there's the message. So I used to work at an animal hospital, and I would hate that I'd have to be there for 12 hours a day and, miss all of the sun. And so what I did was, whenever I could, I would step outside. Even if it was just for 30 seconds, I would step outside and look up at the sky, and it just really changed, It just freed me up, It was like taking control of my life for those 30 seconds, like unlocked so much more in me. And I think that could be a message for you, So like whenever the dogs needed to be put outside, instead of just letting them out and standing inside in the air conditioning, I would, go out in the backyard with them. Whenever I could, on my lunch break, I would walk to the sandwich shop instead of driving there. I think that's a message for some of my hard workers here in pile 3. So I chose some oracle cards for you guys. And you're the only pile that had 2 come out. So both snake and mouse. So snake came out in the pile before. So some of you might want to look into that. If you felt drawn to more than one pile, it's always fine to take a look at that other pile, because the reality is probably, a nice mixture of the messages between the 2 are meant for you. Because these are general readings, and it's hard to sort of get everyone's messages through in a succinct way, because every card has, 2 sides to every coin, 2 messages. Now, so two medicines for you guys. 6 to me is about harmony. The 20 gets broken down to a 2, which is about duality and choices and decisions. So the snake energy is about transmutation, and the mouse is scrutiny. So transmutation, it seems like some of you are learning about the fact that you have a masculine and a feminine inside you, and that you're neither but both. Okay? And it's also a call for my extra sensitives to go out and ground themselves by calling upon their angels, to relieve them from any social debris from the collective conscious that has gathered in your vessel. Okay? So that is a very specific message for some of you, to call upon your team and say, quite literally, okay, guides, I don't feel myself. And I'm calling upon you, and I charge you with removing any energy that I have picked up from the collective and transmuting that, okay, so that you can step forward again into your own power without being burdened by any other energies. Extra sensitive people, empaths, they really collect energy from people, and then it's hard to, be your own person when you're looking through life through that warped lens. The 6, or the mouse scrutiny for me, is to get a second opinion on a creative project, it seems like. To read the fine detail, to read the small print, to cross your I's and dot your T's. And just to get a second opinion on something is what I'm getting from this mouse. So it's the exact opposite energy of the eagle for me. The eagle is about experiencing ups and downs in life and trusting spirit to provide in order to capitalize on that experience, Knowing both the lows and highs really helps you gain a really interesting perspective in life. The mouse to me is about getting your hands dirty, to read the fine print, to really sweat the small stuff, It's imitation. Usually we tell you not to sweat the small stuff. The read I'm getting is to sweat the small stuff. So I'm going to move into your tarot spread. The little bits of glass are just visual cues from me. They just let me know that the original orientation was reversed. Okay, so you have, 2 7s. Every card so far has had 2 numbers, so that's pretty cool. Oh, 3 7s. Divine knowledge. Okay, so let's just talk about that for a second. Wow, getting so excited. For me, 7s are about divine knowledge because it's a 3 plus a 4. It's a combination of the material world, so 4, stability, and 3, the water, the thoughts, feelings, the intangible and the tangible. And having a foot in both worlds gives you that divine knowledge, okay? I think it's also talking about an awareness that we have sort of this infinite nature to our being. You can call it reincarnation. You can call it being stardust. And so that's 7s could be really important for you guys. It really just talks about divine knowledge, the application of both thought and feelings into any idea. 2 sides to every coin kind of deal. Spiritual nature, physical plane nature, 3D realm, spiritual realm, conscious, subconscious. Making a fertile conjunction between the two of those is divine knowledge. Okay, so you have the benefits of both perspectives. Maybe that's why the mouse is here. So back to this 4 of Cups. So for me, let me just explain real quick. Future element down here, where you're currently sitting, the advice for that, and then the future should you take that advice. So what I'm getting is that the original orientation of the 4 of Cups would say that you're focusing on this problem here, this unfruitful aspect, the glass half empty, relationships with work, friends, love, creative projects, focusing on what doesn't really light you up or that hasn't been fruitful so far. And if it hasn't panned out and you've been putting a lot of energy in it, that's a sign, okay? It might not be one that you want to hear, but things should flow naturally, okay? You design your path before you incarnate, and their job is really to stay out of the way. Now, for stability in reverse, I'm just going to do that for you because I think the imagery is just as strong. Aha. So now we are literally looking at that cup, right? We're no longer focusing right here on these things, these dreams, desires, wishes, aspirations that never panned out, relationships, work, we were absolutely able to see this cup emerging from the cloud. It's a gift for you. For me, this talks about a new friend, a new love, a new dream, a new idea, new creative project, a new business partner, anything in that nature, okay? And we see her figure has gone off into a retreat of sorts into nature. Go hug a tree is the invitation with this card to reach a new perspective, because you can see he's up on a little bit of a hillcock right here by this tree. And again, in reverse, we're able to acknowledge it. So where are we currently? It seems like we're aware of a project on the side, a relationship on the side, a second job, some aspect that was in the wings is coming into focus, right? So what's really cool about that, because it's in reverse, is we also have the Seven of Cups in reverse. Upright, it talks about a smoke screen, not able to identify what you want, just wishful thinking. In reverse, we're able to identify what we want, what we desire, if that's power, success, riches, beauty, fame, knowledge. We're able to identify it, you know. Upright, it talks about imagination, again, wishful thinking, lost head in the clouds. But in reverse, the fog lifts. And it seems like you guys are heading into a very good period moving forward, because you not only have this awareness of this cup coming in, this something on the sidelines that you can bring into your life to make you happier, to make you feel more vitalized, to have more energy. It could be, you know, a little bit of a spiritual thirst right now, because we do have the divine hand. So maybe the inspiration to go on down a spiritual path, or to learn something new. Just this idea of newness. You've literally identified what cup you want, whether that's beauty again, fame, riches, protection, isolation, spirituality, psychic gifts, more school, new job. You're able to identify what that is. Now, interestingly, it moves into the Five of Pentacles. So this card talks about utilizing, oh my goodness, I hope you can't see that fly coming in on the screen. Flies to me talk about Uranus, so that's a very specific message to you. Some of you could be ruled or have lots of Uranus in your charts. A fly in the wall is what I just heard. Kind of makes me feel like this mouse. This second opinion message is coming through again. I almost want to stop the reading and just kill this fly. But all life is worth it. So this Five of Pentacles talks about this blind person and a beggar or a mute working together and using each other's, you know, pitfalls, you know, bringing their relationship into a fertile conjunction, so they're not, you know, worse for the wear. They're better off because they're together. And there's this element of spirituality with the stained glass window, especially in reverse. It becomes a lot more prominent in the imagery. Of course, I can't pick this card up. Okay. So right now, upright, I'm really interested in the people. In reversed, all I can look at is the stained glass, okay? So what does that mean? Spirituality. But it also talks about upright, you're walking right by it and not noticing this fruitfulness right here. In reverse, it's just another confirmation, like this cup right here. It brings this into the focus, okay? So they're right outside a church. They can go inside and get warm. Now, you have to twist that interpretation to apply to you, because this is a general reading. Five is about change, okay? I think an upturn in fate is what I'm getting from this, by bringing forth this new idea, beginning, belief, love, friendship, job. Bringing that into existence with what you have, because we have the Temperance, you know, solidifying that idea too, and benefiting from a relationship with it. Benefiting from the flow that exists between having the side job and the full-time job. Benefiting from, you know, taking on this new hobby, but still pursuing the first one that you had. That's what I'm getting. It's just a benefit from being together, but also, you know, developing awareness that some people have it harder than you. That's what I'm hearing, okay? So before we move into this future aspect, I do want to draw a few more cards. I created this deck over the weekend, and I'm so excited to use it because it feels so good in my hands. Okay, so what is coming in the future for my pile 3s? The moon, as well as new. Okay, yeah. The new moon. So we're actually approaching the full moon. Okay, so what we're focusing on in this reading moving forward is what we're bringing in with this full moon. So the full moon is when we are at our most powerful in a manifestation sense. We're able to bring forward new from the void, right? Now, we're also moving into Saturn retrograde. Saturn, when it's not in retrograde, is really about harping on us about lessons and patterns and things like that we're repeating and thus not, moving on from. But when it's retrograde, it's like lifting all of the restrictions. It's like full steam ahead. And I think for those of us who are wanting to bring something in new, that's just clearly in your future, especially around the new moon. Okay? The moon also talks about the subconscious, fears, anxieties, and self-limiting beliefs that keep surfacing so that you can acknowledge them and then, make them dissipate, like the little snowflakes here, make them scatter, bring it into the light so it dissolves, okay? And for some of us, we're not identifying what that driving force is. We're not identifying why that fear shows up or anxiety, and so it keeps surfacing. And I think that's holding us back. And some of us just need to use the moon for manifestation. And then for others, the new moon is when you're going to see the results of this come through. Okay, I want to draw a couple more. Night. Okay, so that's enough for now. I'm getting this night element and just this element that's enough from this deck because we have another moon. The eye. I was just saying, I got twisted in my words. Dot your T's and cross your I's. I think that's just calling attention to the fine details as well. There's some aspect of identifying what it is you want in order to bring that in. Paying attention, some of us don't see this event coming through. It's there. There's an absolute strong confirmation that it is there, especially again in reverse because we're looking right at it when the card is reversed. Now, I'm just getting this idea that we need to bring it into the light, okay? And that nighttime might be a good time to be creative for you. If you can't take a retreat, some of you could use night to do that. Close yourself into a bathroom, turn on the fan, and meditate. If you're not sure what it is you want to bring in. Ooh, sorry if that audio was weird. I was just shuffling on top of the microphone. Night, darkness, the void, okay, is what I'm getting. But just this, it's the attention to detail. That tiny little moon up there is what's catching my eye. The stained glass window perspective when it was switched is catching my eye. What things are catching your eye? What's glinting for you, right? So this card is also like make a wish kind of card. It's not the wish fulfillment card, which is the 9 of Cups for me, but it is, pretty high up there, 7 of Cups. So the future element, Queen of Wands, okay? I see someone who embodies just a lot of passion and inspiration and, motivation coming in. And this is going to inspire you to go down a spiritual path or to figure out your new life purpose or life purpose in general, or just to inspire this new idea, okay? So this is another confirmation that this new idea is coming in, and the catalyst, it seems like, if we're part of the group who's unaware of this cup, the catalyst is going to be this Queen of Wands figure, okay? Let's just reach for a couple of confirmations for you guys. This black cat is really calling to me, as well as this, oh my God, you guys chose the sunflower, okay? And it's showing up there, so that's a great confirmation for you guys. The sunflower, I just got a heliotropic, I think is the name, so it follows the sun. It faces the sun. Ooh, okay. We have a huge element of duality. Basically, I'm going to jump ahead of myself. The invitation is to go ahead with this project that you have that's in the sidelines, to make it your focus, to bring it into the light. Because the Chariot is full, go ahead, right? It's an invitation to go ahead. He even has the sun on his head and the moon on his breast. Okay, there's these moon elements that are on his shoulders, and he has crowning himself with the sun. Here's the sun, and then there's the moon, light and dark, duality. It's written all over, even the two, the duality aspect. So for me, what I'm getting is a huge invitation to bring some aspects into a state of temperance, okay? I think that, because the sun, enlightenment, I was getting a little bit ahead of myself. We're just going to, rewind back to the confirmations. Pyramids might be significant to you guys, but stained glass specifically as well, okay? The lions, to me, in the back of her throne talk about willpower and courage. And there's, again, more sunflowers behind her throne, and she's wearing yellow, the color of optimism, communication, intelligence. And, there's just a splendid yellow all over this. You guys are really intelligent people. So upright, this is a person coming through, male or female. There's no gender when I read tarot. And this person is just supposed to, spur you on towards spirituality, honestly, is what I'm getting, or your life purpose. Some of you know what this is. You just need the courage or the confirmation to go forward. This is that, strongly, especially with a Chariot showing up and so many confirmations of light and dark, especially, God, another one, okay? So the black and white snow is really called upon. It's really highlighted in this Five of Pentacles card. So temperance, identifying dreams and goals and aspirations that encompass an entire life period, but also, again with a snake energy, realizing that you have both masculine and feminine, and the goal is to identify that you're not separate, but both of them and more, in order to transmute some thought, or some idea, desire, action, transmute, so transform it from something that's been holding you back to something that's going to motivate you, okay? And the only thing to do that is, a presence of mind, a sunny side, okay? The Chariot is about, travel for some of you very specifically, but it's also, early on I said there's two sides to every coin, this element of duality, okay? We have light and dark going on right here, and it's just realizing that there are some fated events in life that you cannot change, and there are some energies that are mutable that you can change, and it's being able to, have peace and serenity with the things that you cannot change, and then the power to move forward with the things that you can. And this invitation is to go forward, okay? It's just a big, strong... If you're usually someone who would, hold back their words, it says speak out. If you're someone who would rather feel into something, it says use your head. If you're someone who wants to receive, it says no, to go forward. And quite strongly is what I'm getting. It feels like some of you are waiting on the return of something. You're growing something. Your seeds have been sown, and you've got a lot to be grateful for. It just might require patience. That was a very specific message for some of you. I want to draw a couple more cards. Okay, I'll go with the romance deck. Try not to take too long. The last two readings were like a half hour each. So what's coming next for pile 3? Okay. Finance and career. What? I had no clue that... I've never looked at this deck, which I love, so I've never seen these two cards before. Okay. Flirt. Flirt is just a really lighthearted energy to me, okay? I think it's an invitation to not take life so seriously, and an invitation to be a flirt. If you're in a relationship, to think of creative ways to, bring that spark back. Finances and career. Financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. Okay. So it seems like, especially with codependence, addictions are affecting your romantic life. Okay. So what I'm getting is that there's an imbalance. Oh my God, yeah, it's written all over this. written in the stars. So there's this element of duality, black and white, opposites attract is what I just heard. And it seems like, ooh, we've got the lion on the shield here. So it feels like we're drawing extra attention to this Queen of Wands, who I think is maybe your partner. So your partner has a lot of new ideas. They have a lot of, motivation and energy. They really inspire you. And I think this is a call to give back to them, to hold space for them is what I'm getting. To give their dreams and aspirations a little bit of motivation, okay? So financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. A factor. That doesn't necessarily mean a bad factor, okay? It just means that I think that something is out of balance and we need to bring it into a state of temperance. I think this is also a call to balance your work and love life. Again, from this flirt energy, and to not take life itself so seriously. That's what I'm getting as far as love. I do want to draw a few more cards, so I'm going to go into this deck. What's coming next? What's coming in the future for pile 3, especially regarding the moon, the full moon coming up on the 26th, or the new moon in the future? This wants to come out. Holiday. Take a break is what I heard. Okay. Real. This love is real is what I heard. Holiday. Some of you really need to take a real break. If you're part of the crew who's sort of stuck in their head and is unable to identify and see the light in their situation, some of you really need to take a retreat. Yeah, I picked up early on that we've retreated into nature to get this new perspective. Yeah, I can see that here too with the temperance. Real, and some of you just need to be real. Yeah, some of us are holding back our words, is what I'm hearing, and we're not letting out the whole truth. Okay, kind of the element of the Queen of Cups moving through this right now. Holiday, yeah, I'm just getting break or summer vacation, okay? But also, okay, so someone in this spread early on, I was talking to you about the sun card. That's what the holiday is talking to me about, and the sunflowers. It's someone in this reading is like in the gray zone of every point I've been hitting, because you guys have come far in your journey. You've reached the sun card, which didn't show up here, but there are elements that, indicate that I think that is you. So you're reaching, a sunny state, a happy state, a state where you feel like you can bring something new in, to add to the table. We're going to draw from one last deck. Let's see what new is coming. Okay, it would be a lot, but let's take all of them. Bold plan. Okay, let's just start with the very first one. This is going to take a bold plan. Some aspect, it feels like for those in a codependent relationship, or there's just an imbalance in your relationship, or an imbalance in your work and love life relationship, it's going to take a bold plan. You're going to have to really sort out the light and the dark, the pros and the cons, and to create a new way of being is what I'm hearing. We're running out of space, but maybe right along the bottom. I hope that you guys can see that. Clear winner, okay? Clear winner. So new and holiday to me are really speaking, especially with this. I'm getting it to be that card up there, the Four of Cups. I'm just sensing that some of you know what I'm talking about. Some of you know this, again, idea, friend that you've been wanting to call in, love partner you've been wanting to say yes to, job you've been wanting to say yes to, job change, creative project, trip for some of you. Some of you know that this plan, that this idea, that this thing that's been in the sidelines is a clear winner, and this is your confirmation. This is the clear winner, okay? You also have Mountain and Mission Possible. Love that. Okay, I'm going to take Mission Possible first. This is really about going forward, and taking on the energy of this Chariot card, okay? It's literally telling you that this bold plan, this way of thinking that you're designing yourself, this work-life balance, it's possible. Pile 3, it's absolutely possible. It's written in the stars. Okay? This is absolutely possible. And then you have Mountain. Mountain to me talks about a new perspective, but also a reserve of power. I see the mountains, the blue mountains in the distance here. And some of you need to go hiking. Some of you have a lot of power at your disposal at this time. Yes, power. Okay, so we're calling more attention to the moon right now. Again, the full moon is when it's at its most powerful, and it's a really good idea to incorporate that sort of energy if you need a little boost in your magic. If some of you are manifesting, using the law of attraction, having spells, any of that, just need a little bit of power right now. Think of using the full moon, setting some water outside and charging it, setting all of your crystals outside and charging it with power, but also the path to the mountain, okay? Identify with a bold plan in your life, real things that matter to you, Holiday is also talking about tempering work and life, okay? Finding a balance between work and play and not taking life so seriously. So that's what I'm getting for my pile 3. This is a great energy. I feel like you guys just got really motivated right now. I can feel that. The other 2 piles were a little bit more like trying to help you with some kind of heavier advice. This is just like, you got your message, go for it, okay? This full moon is going to bring a lot of power to you. Some of you, again, should go outside and stick your feet in the dirt and ask the universe to take away any ideas, any energy of any sort that is not yours, and just transmute it, pull it into the ground so that the earth can take that away from you. Is just the final message I wanted to leave on. So I hope that this message and this reading really resonated for you. If it did, I would love to hear about it in the comment section, or you can leave me a really big thumbs up. And until next time, stay divine. Hi Pile 4, welcome to your reading, everyone who chose the lavender. Lavender for me is really about relaxation, going to a spa, treating yourself, but it also can help enhance your dreams. So if you want to have peaceful dreams, relief from nightmares, you can put a little sachet away, a little satchel of lavender under your pillow. It can ward off nightmares, but it also can give you vivid dreams. So be aware of that if you're going to work with lavender. So for all of my piles, I have drawn an extra card, an oracle card. And for you guys, I chose the Black Panther, okay? So the number 5 to me talks about change, and 2 talks about duality. And together, that equals 7, which is divine knowledge. We have another 7 here. And the Black Panther is all about embracing the unknown, okay? Divine knowledge would be the combination or the conjunction between the thought realm, the intangible, and the concrete present, the ground, the tangible. So taking ideas from up here in space and bringing them into the ground through experience. And through that experience, through the highs and lows in life, which is talking about that here in the Wheel of Fortune, you gain divine knowledge. So embracing the unknown, this is, take a leap of faith energy here, but there's a couple other messages with that one. First one is you are enough, okay? You don't need to prove yourself to anyone else, your worth to anyone else. And just to trust at this time, not to be worried about the future, but instead just to be, okay? Just be, without the lens of society dictating your moves, your future, your dreams, goals, what you want to look like, how you want to sound, which I don't know why that one came out, but hey, maybe some of you are working on your voice. Just know that you are enough. But also I'm getting this strong void energy from here, dark but beautiful purple kind of dark, ultramarine even. And what is the void? It's where all creation comes from, every idea, okay? I'm also picking up on the idea of duality right here, and we'll continue that in a moment. But I just want to tell my pile 4s to expect the unexpected, especially with this new moon coming on the 26th. Expect the unexpected is written all over this card. And I didn't do this with my other readings, but I'm just going to start with some messages from the void, just because we drew that great black cat. So we'll see if maybe 2 want to come out. That's perfect. Okay. Ooh, don't get caught waiting for the other shoe to drop. This is one that I've kept in all month. I just think it is it bears repeating. Don't get caught waiting for the other shoe to drop, okay? That energy with a message of expect the unexpected is just, such an amazing way to lift your vibration. Instead of expecting, a small increase, expect the unexpected, something beyond your wildest dreams. I mean, honestly, you guys have the Wheel of Fortune. It is in reverse. That's what these pieces of glass indicate. But regardless of its orientation, you have arrived here, okay? A blessing is in the works. It's just a matter of turning the wheel, but we'll get to that in a second. So the last message, it literally says expect the unexpected. That is amazing. Wow. All of my readings today have been just lots of confirmations for people. That amount of synchronicity is just kind of making me lose my words right now. It's just, I feel like it was just a pat on my back to go in this direction. I took a big leap of faith myself with starting this channel. I'm a professional photographer, and it didn't light me up, so I had to make my own fate. So we're just going to move into here. That's wow, expect the unexpected. I literally said that 3 times and then it came out. That was just crazy. Okay. So starting in the tarot, we have your future down here. Up here, this is where you're currently sitting. This is the advice, and this is the direction you will go if you take that advice. So we're sitting at the Wheel of Fortune, the 10, the end of a cycle, okay? Now, in reverse, it's saying that you have arrived, but in order to turn this wheel, it takes a little bit of input, In order to turn grain into flour, you need water to turn the mill to grind the stone, okay? It can't do it by itself. And indeed, turning that grain into flour is an upturn in fate because you can make a lot more money selling that flour. I'm sorry that you can hear the shower turning on in the background. Nothing much I can really do about that, but hey, that water analogy maybe was pretty strong for some of you as well. So it just calls for a little bit of input, okay? We have an upturn of fate coming in our hands. We're just not acting on it. It seems like we're stuck in impatience. We're waiting for something to happen to us. But I mean, this spread has make it happen for yourself written on it quite a bit, especially with this Emperor card. So Wheel of Fortune, we've arrived at a place where we're ready to go forward. We've done quite a bit of the Fool's Journey. We're about halfway there on this path. Now, the Page of Pentacles in reverse lets me know that you are the Page of Pentacles, okay? Instead of this figure coming into your life, you are more with this energy. So very new at something. And to me, it's about a talent, okay? I think some of you are very new at manifesting. And I'm just getting the sense that we just don't quite know enough yet. But what's amazing, especially with this, expect the unexpected, do you see that your transition is from the Page of Pentacles to the King of Pentacles? So heeding this advice results in you becoming the epitome of the suit, okay? I think the Queen and King are about the same in this suit. And so, someone who literally has a wealth of health and a wealth of talents, but also just financial stability. It seems like right now we're learning about manifestation. We're learning about what we want to bring into being. We're learning about a creative talent. Some of us are getting an unexpected blessing, which is an unexpected blessing, the message is coming very fast. Sometimes I feel like I will literally start one like I just did and then go off to explain something else. Something I'm working on. You guys are getting a hidden talent revealed is what I was trying to say. And I think you're becoming very fruitful as a result. and others have been waiting for this turn to come to them, but you got to make that wheel turn yourself. You got to give it a little effort, okay? And some of us have been sitting in abundance, okay? Some of us are, feeling like we're really fertile right now, a really fruitful time for us, and we're waiting for the other shoe to drop, We don't know, like, to how to sit in this great energy and accept it because we've had such less before and such different circumstances. This is also new, and it's hard, and it's almost a little bit uncomfortable, even though we're sitting in such a rich, period. It's written right here. Again, try to see which one of these lenses is you. I can only focus so many at one time. This is a general reading. So I want to get some clarifiers before I go any further. But that's amazing so far. I mean, I'm a little shook. Created this deck over the weekend. I absolutely love how it feels in my hand more than any deck ever. Finding a niche. Yep, that's a strong message, especially because it popped out like that. Okay, so this is talking about, this is literally the majority of you, okay? This is a very strong confirmation. This is very cool. So I see you having a new talent. Some of you already have this new talent, this hidden talent that came back up to the surface and you remembered it and you're not applying it. Some of you are applying it and are waiting on returns, but that, I think what's stopping the abundance is you need to find your niche. You need to find out where on the internet, for example, you're going to glow the brightest, okay? Where you're going to be able to shine your light to stand out. The pentacle right here in this page's hands is only discernible because of the black border that's around it, right? So the pentacle itself and the background are the same color. You wouldn't see it without that border drawn. And that border is our life experience and our niche, our own unique set of talents. It's our stamp on the world, okay? And I think my pile fours are finding their stamp on the world. They have to put their creative stamp on something. This has creative energy all over it. Career, talent, whatever lenses that is for you. You're being guided to find your own niche. That's what's going to bring about this blessing, okay? And as soon as we do that, you're going to write this Wheel of Fortune because you're going to know where to put that energy, because you obviously have a lot of energy going on right here. You've got this Great Emperor card towards the future. Orange is the color of energy. Got the great orange wheel right here, but also yellow is awareness and vitality. That talks a lot about energy to me. Let's draw one more or two. I love how that one flew out, and it's so spot on. God, this deck tonight, now, the present, tonight, this is very fast energy. Okay, so it seems like some of you are hearing this message and there is something that you wanted to reveal and you should do it tonight. You should literally do it today. Seize the day, carpe diem, move forward and do it. Tonight, it just says now all over it. Tonight, that's so interesting. I usually deal with much more mutable energies and distant futures, This reading's kind of geared around the new moon coming up. I keep saying new moon, I wonder why. So it might take the new moon to achieve this success, but for some of you, it's happening tonight, It's happening during the hours of the full moon, which is a couple days before and after the full moon, which is going to be the 26th, if you're watching this in the present or near present. Tonight, it just says now, but nighttime also the void, a drawback to expect the unexpected. That's what I'm getting so far. Win. Okay, yeah. So some of you are winning it all, winning the lottery. Go out and buy that lottery ticket, okay? But don't come back and bitch if that didn't work out for you. But win, it's undeniable. It's written right here, win tonight. You're going to win when you find your niche is what I'm hearing, okay? Wheel of Fortune and win. Come on, ending this cycle, allowing this cycle to finish so that you can move forward into the newness of this Page of Pentacles and then thus become the King of Pentacles eventually. Finding your niche is the key to unlocking that. It's a win-win situation is what I'm hearing. The High Priestess says to use your intuition, okay? To find a balance between what you think using your head and what you think using your heart, okay? So she asks us to find, the balance in between both of them. We've got the black and the white side here, okay? And she is, just stands for intuition and psychic ability. She's got the moon energy with her. So you might try using the cycles of the moon to manifest. Again, we're moving forward into huge moon energy and eclipse season here very shortly. She just represents hidden knowledge, okay? And I think that has to do with finding a niche. I think you have to use your intuition, do a little bit of soul searching to see what makes you unique. What is going to make your perspective for this career, this talent, this business idea, what is going to make you stand out and be unique? Because that niche is going to be fruitful, okay? We have the grapes all over the King of Pentacles. We have these pentacles that have been blossoming, okay? And we also have pomegranates all over the back of her, the throne here, the little tapestry, sorry, I couldn't find the word. We have pomegranates, that stands for fertility to me, but also just ripe abundance, okay? So tap into our intuition. In the future, we're having a little bit of, a moment of realizing that there are some times where we use our head and sometimes where we use our heart. The Three of Swords, okay? This talks about heartbreak, but not necessarily, because I don't really see relationship anywhere here, and that's something to note, okay? We don't have any wand energy, so maybe a lack of motivation and inspiration, passion. We also don't have any cup energy, okay? So thoughts, not thoughts, but feelings, dreams, wishes, and relationships. There seems to be none of that here, okay? And I think that you guys are going to be able to go ahead alone, okay? Go alone came out. I was trying to say go ahead alone, so that means that yes, because you are this Page of Pentacles, it was reversed. It seems like an invitation to go ahead, to pioneer, to take on a pioneering spirit, and to do this by yourself. You don't need the support of anyone else. So undeniably, this can talk about breakup of sorts, but the swords are all about relieving mental struggles, decisions, and conflicts, okay? They're all about cutting away the excess beliefs, ideas, fears, that are limiting you and burdening you, okay? So we can identify them and cut them away and free the mind. So there's some element of heart over matter, is what I just heard, okay? So we have this heart over this mirror, or, rainstorm in the background, either or. There's an element of confusion in the background, and these ideas, this want to communicate, this necessity, this call for action, I feel like it's moving us away from a place of comfort, because fours are about stability, okay? But it's going to be a really creative, fruitful time, and I still want my pile fours to go for it, okay? It just seems like we're going to have to identify a true balance, okay, between the head and the heart to make a really wise decision, because we have the Emperor here. In reverse, it talks about your dad, okay? Really, like literally your dad or your grandfather. And it seems like maybe he's going to be some piece of this puzzle, but also maybe it's envisioning yourself in the future. I'm getting like the idea of the Ten of Pentacles, this older figure, Ulysses, is that his name? I think it is. At the end of his life, it's kind of like a family element. Maybe some of you are choosing between career and love, and that's why we don't see love here. That's interesting. I'm going to go ahead and draw a few from the romance deck of mine. Okay. Express your love is the only one that's in reverse. Some of us are blocked. Our heart chakra is blocked. Okay, you might look up sound healing bath for heart chakra. Okay, so express your love. Go ahead and make the romantic gesture. This is an invitation. Okay, some element is holding us back right here. Some mental aspect with a relationship with self-love is what I heard. Okay, yeah, early on you guys needed to hear that you are enough and not to worry about the future, and trust that you're not supposed to know it yet, and to just be. Okay, so some of you could do with a little bit of self-love tonight. Draw a bath, You guys drew the lavender, which makes me think that you're really needing a little bit of peace and reflection and tranquility. Yeah, my voice is like even getting calmer and softer. And it's also at the end of the day, but I'm getting that read. I don't know what that is. Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. Yup. So some of us feel like that love is not in our cards because literally it's not, but also because we need to do this. We need to make the money. We need to make the talent. We need to make a name for ourselves. And we feel like love isn't a part of that equation, but you're being told it is. It's written. It's literally written right here. Someone is wearing a false self mask in a relationship. Okay, so for some of us, a select few, this hasn't been about needing love. This is about needing to get out of love. It's holding you back. It's causing, too much mental burden. 3 swords piercing the heart. Okay? And it's causing confusion as a result because we have gray all around. And it seems like as the moment we deal with this deception, deciding who is wearing a false self mask in this relationship, and that could be you too. Maybe you're in it for a sense of comfort and stability. Okay, but you're being invited to go alone, for sure. Because as soon as we deal with this, we're moving into stability regardless. Okay, we have the 4. At least learning about stability and what it means to be stable. I am going to draw from one more deck. I haven't done this one today. So this is the keys to unlocking your success, abundance, potential. Ooh, oh my God. The secret to unlocking your success and potential is literally love. Okay? Some of you feel like you can't have both. You can have it all. Pile 4, it's written right here. So this card has never come up yet, and I've been waiting for it. It just is a very sensual card, okay? It's literally a close-up of his heart, like really. Oh, I feel really strongly for my pile 4s, okay? But this is, this is an invitation to not be like anyone else in your past who has expressed love in maybe a way that, doesn't relate to how you really wish it to be. Maybe you have like a fairy tale aspect. You really want for that fairy tale love. And that exists, I'm here to tell you, okay? I'm being told to tell you. When I was very little, my little sister had a purple box, a little, what's it called? Piggy bank kind of deal. It was made out of wood, it was purple, and it said, "If in your heart you believe you're Prince Charming, you'll receive." And I don't know why I'm telling you guys this, so I'm gay, if you couldn't tell already. And I never thought that I would ever be able to have love in the way that I envisioned it, right? Because growing up, the gay people that were out, I didn't identify with them, That's not what I looked like, that's not how I talked, that's not how I sounded, that's not how I dressed, that's just not who I was, and I felt just other. So this is important too, my voice is going. Your love exists, okay? And they are out there, and it's a matter, we accept the love we think we deserve, okay? To steal from the perks of being a wallflower. And I think that just because we're not seeing any cups here, okay? No passion even with the wand cards. I think that we have to temper, create a balance, a harmonious flow between work and life, but also knowing that our friends are here to support us. If this isn't about love, this is about friendship. And also self-love. Okay? So that's what I'm getting for my pile 4. What a beautiful reading with some amazing confirmations. If you felt like this resonated, I would love to see a big thumbs up. It really helps support the channel, but also helps my messages, reach a broader audience. If you felt like it resonated, I would love to talk to you in the comments section. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, you can press subscribe, and until then, stay divine.